Hey guys, hope you guys are having an amazing day today. A little bit of a change of pace in terms of the type of video we are doing today. Today's video, we are gonna be recording our reaction. I'm gonna be reacting to the video 5 Reasons Not to Get an Aussiedoodle Aussie Poo Review by Dog Focus. And I'm just gonna react to it, see what he has to say. I am obviously a first-time dog owner, and Jackson is currently 11 months right now, so I have 11 months of actual dog ownership experience, especially with an Aussiedoodle. So again, we're gonna see what he says, see how I react to it. I am re-recording this intro just because the audio was really bad at the start, and a little preface too, some of the audio is a little bit funky throughout the video, so please bear with me. I am sorry, I apologize, but again, if this turns out great, I might do another reacting video. But again, I just want to warn you guys about the audio, so I am sorry about that. I also want to just say thank you to Dog Focus for making this video, as it is really informative after actually watching it. And so again, thank you for creating this video. And also on top of that, in the description, he's not ripping on the Aussiedoodle breed or anything like that. You guys, I just want to reiterate, he's just being very informative about it, and making sure that you know, people that want to get these dogs are kind of aware of what they're getting themselves into. So without further ado, let's get straight into the video. All right, clicking play right now.
There are people on YouTube, there are first-time dog buyers who are getting ready to buy an Australian Shepherd crossed with a poodle.
Okay, I'm only 10 seconds in, but just right off the bat, and also as a video editor, I'm not gonna be too nitpicky about this, but the audio is only coming out of the left side of my speaker, and that's a video problem. That's not my laptop problem. So that's besides the point. Again, we're gonna get into the Aussiedoodle content. Anyways,
too many dogs every year end up in a shelter simply because a first-time dog owner didn't understand the expectations or the needs of that breed. Too many, they buy a Saint Bernard and then they're surprised or they're frustrated when the dog grows up and becomes a mini dinosaur. So my purpose here is not to criticize the Australian Shepherd crossed with a poodle, the Aussiedoodles. I just want people who are out there searching for information to have 5 things that I think you should know and that might keep you from getting an Aussiedoodle.
Okay, just off of that, I'm glad that he said that. I mean, back when I made my first couple videos on really informing everyone about the Aussiedoodle breed, I did actually say that too. It's like, you really got to know what you're getting into, especially with an Aussiedoodle. All the traits, characteristics, if it will fit your lifestyle, all that spaz and whatnot. So I'm glad he did say that. You're off to a good start here, buddy.
The number one thing I think people need to understand about Australian Shepherds, they're herding animals. They're very, very smart. They're very hardworking, but they're used to being in charge. And if they see you, if you're a first-time dog owner and your Aussiedoodle it really takes after the Australian Shepherd, and they see you as kind of being, you know, misinformed or not doing your job, don't be surprised if your puppy starts to try and exhibit herding behaviors and they try and become the boss. They start trying to herd your children.
Jackson has done that.
A poodle is not as intent on pleasing their owner. They're very, very intelligent. They're very, very athletic, and they can be excellent dogs, but they can also be ambivalent to you. If I've worked with poodles in the past, and I've had poodles, it almost felt like they were looking at me trying to decide if they wanted to do what I wanted them to. It was like it was a mental exercise.
Okay, so just off of that, on like whether or not they're thinking about basically like listening to what you have to say. Like Jackson, he does that from time to time, and I kind of attest that to him just being stubborn. But again, at the end of the day, Jackson, you know, as smart as he is, he will listen to me. So, I mean, there is some truth to that, is what I'm saying.
Aussiedoodles may not be the best dog if you're a first-time dog owner. If you're really brand new to training dogs and, you know, building structure and giving them enough physical exercise, enough mental stimulus to keep them happy and to firmly plant yourself as the herder in the Australian Shepherd's world. They need to see that you're doing the herding.
All right, so just off of number one, I definitely agree with this guy in saying that, you know, obviously not all Aussiedoodles will have this herding instinct, but a lot of them will, just because of they're bred with an Australian Shepherd, which is a herding dog. And at least from my personal experience, Jackson, of course, the first couple months or so, would actually nip at my feet, try to herd me here and there. So definitely, if you are looking to get an Aussiedoodle, be wary of that. You will have to be very consistent in stopping that behavior and making sure that obviously it's a natural habit, but not making it a life habit, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So off to a good start. I feel like there's a lot of dislikes on this video just because of the title, 5 Reasons Not To, but in reality, at least just from the first 5 minutes, it's more on the fact that this guy just wants us to be wary of you know, what this dog will bring and the lifestyle that is best suited for this dog.
Okay, the second thing that you need to know about Australian Shepherds and Poodles both, they can be a little standoffish. They're not the kind of dog that wants to be in your lap all the time. Now again, I understand some of you have a Poodle that's all they are, is an oversized lap dog. Understand that as the breed goes, that's probably more the exception than the rule. The rule for Poodles is that they're not so much. Australian Shepherds, very standoffish as a breed. And so if you don't socialize your puppy right away, you get your puppy home from the breeder and you start getting them into lots of different experiences with different people, different noises, riding in the car in different ways. If you don't get them experienced to that, especially to strangers, early on in your dog's life, later on, your dog could become very fearful, and that could lead to some really bad situations, including biting and snipping, growling, barking. Now, that is something that can be totally you can totally get through that, again, by just socializing your dog really well up front.
Okay, so number two, I agree with him, but that doesn't really, I feel like that doesn't really apply specifically to an Aussiedoodle. I feel like you can apply that to all dogs in general. Like, socialization is very much so key to the growing stages of a puppy, and for him to kind of just say, oh yeah, you got to worry about this specifically for an Aussiedoodle, at least that's how it's coming off as, like, I don't know about that. Like, again, that applies to all dogs, and so that's all I'm gonna say about that.
All right, the third thing you need to know about Australian Shepherds, and the funny thing about this is the polar opposite. We talked about them being standoffish. That's mostly with strangers. The thing you'll learn about Australian Shepherds is when they create a bond with a person, they crave constant attention. And this is the same with Poodles. It's not uncommon for Australian Shepherds and Poodles in that situation that have a strong bond with their owner to develop separation anxiety, really bad behaviors, destructive behaviors like chewing up your furniture, digging holes in the yard, chewing up trampolines, hoses, digging up landscaping. So this is something to be aware of. If you're a single person and you're living in a situation where you don't have a lot of people in and out, and your dog builds a really strong bond with you, and then you have to leave for 10 hours at a time and your dog is alone, this can be a problem. This isn't a dog that you can just turn out into the backyard and let them go entertain themselves. Because the Australian Shepherds and the Poodles are both so intelligent, they're going to require some interaction. They're going to want there are going to be some games that they want to play.
So for number three, I definitely agree with this guy. At least, again, this is all based off my personal experience with Jackson. Like, Jackson is very much so a Velcro dog. He's very dedicated to me. He thinks so highly of me. Our bond is obviously inseparable, sometimes literally for him. But, you know, as you guys have, I'm sure you guys watched my past videos, he does have a little bit of separation anxiety, and, you know, we're continuing to work on that. But yeah, everything you said for number three is completely true, at least from my experience. Again, Jackson's always by my side. He's a Velcro dog. He loves attention. He loves attention from other people. Kind of goes crazy a little bit if people don't give him that attention. But yeah, definitely, like, in my experience, Jackson is very much so, again, a Velcro dog.
Often the doodles, people are crossing shedding dogs with a poodle in a hopes to get a non-shedding dog. And often that stems from someone in the home with an allergy. Every dog is going to shed a little bit. You just need to have your expectation that even a poodle, the non-shedding dog, you run a comb through their hair and you're going to get some hair out, just like when I comb my daughter's hair or when my wife brushes her hair. So, and let's just understand, there is no such thing as an hypoallergenic dog. Most people, when they say they're allergic to dogs, it's not the hair that's floating around that's causing them to have a reaction. It's almost always the dander. In other words, the flakes, the dead skin that's flaking off the dog and getting up into the air and into our nostrils, that's more often than not what people are allergic to.
Okay, this guy rambled a lot for number 4, but I think he's trying to say is that there is no completely hypoallergenic dog, and which too I agree with. But at least personally for me, I do have mild dog allergies, and Jackson is an F1B Aussiedoodle, meaning obviously, like he said in the video, dogs don't shed at all. All dogs shed, but Jackson's fur, like, he just sheds his winter coat in the spring, and that's pretty much it. Like, his hair falls out every once in a while. I like to compare it very much so to human hair, whereas like obviously our hair falls out every once in a while. Similar pattern with Jackson.
Okay, number 5, the last thing you need to know about getting an Australian Shepherd crossed with a poodle, an Aussiedoodle, or any of the other number of names I've seen floating out there, is this. They're very, very athletic. They're very, very smart. That means they require both a physical stimulus every single day, and I'm not talking a walk around the park. I mean, these dogs need to run and run hard. If you're interested in doing agility training, then Australian Shepherds crossed with a poodle, that's an awesome dog for you. If you're the person that wants to sit around and watch Friends reruns or reruns of The Office, you're probably not going to want this dog. The other thing to keep in mind is that you're probably not going to want an Australian Shepherd if you live in an apartment. You need at least a small backyard where you can go out and play fetch or set up a small little agility course.
Number 5, I totally get what this guy's saying. Like, Australian Shepherds, poodles, very high energetic dogs, exercising dogs, and again, from my experience, Jackson has a lot of energy. He said not to recommend being in an apartment. Obviously, we're in an apartment right now. We're making it work. There is some truth to what he's saying. Like, they are, at least some, I'm not going to generalize, but there are some, most of them I would say, are high energetic dogs. So wherever you are, whether you're in an apartment, at home, make sure to, balance that. Make sure that they get their level of exercise, and also at the same time, make sure that you don't overdo it too, because that could cause some health problems. Again, with all of these, you just want to be wary of the generalizations of this breed and what basically you would be getting yourself into. Like, yeah, they're cuddly, they're fluffy. Obviously, Jackson's so fluffy. But again, like, I mean, I had to brush his hair every other day. I have to go on walks with him. I can't just have a lazy dog or whatever. I gotta make sure that his mind's stimulated, that his body's stimulated too. So again, this is all just from personal experience with Jackson. Obviously, I love Jackson so much, and if I were to choose any other dog, I would go back and choose Jackson again. So just like any breed, make sure you know the pros, the cons, the points you have to hit with each one, right? At the end of the day, they're dogs. If they love you, they're gonna love you no matter what, and vice versa with you guys to them. All right, guys, so that concludes today's video. Let me know down below what you guys think of this, and if this was entertaining or you have any thoughts, insights, please let me know in the comment section down below. As a reminder, please hit that like button, and if you are new here, welcome. Please hit the subscribe button too, as it really means a lot to Jackson and me. Tell your dogs you love them. Jackson, I love you. Thank you guys for watching, and have an amazing day.